Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Jashin sealed inside of him. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Failed his Genin tests and was given intense training, and I enjoyed that guys. And I also posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto was too advanced for its age over an anime king too. So go ahead and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as the Uchiha clan was surrounded by pitch black darkness, blocking out all of the envoys that may come across the scene. But the scout patrols had already passed, and they were too busy scouting the outer edge of the village, so they wouldn't witness what was going to happen tonight, which was a massacre. A shadow flew into one of the Uchiha's mouth. As he was leaving the police headquarters, the man stood there frozen, before he turned towards his friend as he coughed, shrugging it off like nothing just happened. He then slit his friend's throat, surprising the man with wide eyes. He then made his way inside, seeming to run in from something, but it was all an act, as he stabbed the other two without mercy. He then flew into someone else, the shadow that is, one of the dead bodies on the ground. The remaining police forces came around as they checked their pulses, not feeling anything. They were about to investigate when that body got off the ground and slit their throats. They dropped down dead, and just like that, the massacre continued. Countless murders after murders. It was none other than Naruto using a technique that was taught to him by Jashin, the soul corruption technique. As Naruto turned his body into black smoke, it was really hard to maintain. That is why the Kyuubi was the one using her power, slowly seeping it through the bars. The shackles, that is. Jashin was helping her in that case, because if it was just Naruto alone, he would probably be dead from chakra exhaustion. As the Kyuubi was getting weaker and weaker, using a lot of her power, but at least they were getting rid of the Uchiha clan, those cursed dojutsu that could control her. And just like that, the entire Uchiha clan was slaughtered that night. Siblings killing their own, mothers killing fathers, parents killing their children. They were not in control of their body though. One boy, Sasuke Uchiha, had went out to train, as he was tired of being second compared to Menma, so he wanted to get stronger. That was the only thing that saved his life that night, just because he went out to train. As the massacre continued, the Kyuubi was getting weaker. She told Naruto to hurry, as Naruto seeped in the head Uchiha clan house, where he seeped into the mind of Itachi Uchiha. Itachi was confused. Jashin ended up crushing his soul, the unbearable weight of death. He couldn't withstand it. As Itachi walked into the room, his father was not the clan head for nothing, so he reacted, moving away from the knife that nearly pierced his skull. As his father grabbed onto him, but Itachi reached for the knife with his finger and slit his father's eyes. The man held on to his face as Itachi tried the knife, tearing through his father's heart, killing him. Itachi then slit his own throat as he dropped down to the ground. Mikoto was shaking as she couldn't understand what was going on. As Naruto emerged from Itachi's mouth, his body finally reforming. The Kyuubi then collapsed down in the mindscape, no longer able to sustain the chakra limit needed for the abilities. The seal holding back a lot of her power. It was a lot on her. As Jashin told Naruto to hurry up, as Naruto tear Minato apart, his nails, his fangs ripping into her without mercy, his eyes showing nothing but pure death. The next morning, everything was a chaos. As people were scared to walk the streets, someone had came in and mercilessly slaughtered the Uchiha clan and no one knew who did it. Yes, that was a problem. No matter what happened, no one could find any evidence of who did it. Danzo had his suspicions, but when Naruto told him flat that it was him, Danzo was still shocked that the boy was able to do something like that. As Naruto faked ignorance, apologizing, saying that he would listen to his command and he would not go against his word, as Danzo like that. It's only a matter of time before he got what he wanted. He would be Hokage if not him, one of his lackeys, to work for him while he was in the shadow. But Naruto could definitely not be Hokage. The boy would definitely drive the village into hell. But Naruto could be used as a secret weapon to kill, because that is all the boy wanted. Sasuke was taken in by Kushina, as she knew this is what Minato would have wanted as a woman was crushed. Minato checked the seals that night, just in case, as he found nothing wrong with them, so it couldn't have been Naruto. Years passed, as it was finally time for the Genin team to be selected. Finally time for him to have a bit more freedom, as his bloodlust has rise since then, become even more wicked. So yeah guys, so basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode right now guys. A bottle of sake smashed into the wall of the Hokage's office. Calm down, said Jiraiya. Easy. As he looked towards Minato, the man seemed to be a mess at the moment, his mind reeling from recent activities. Minato took several deep breaths, trying to calm himself. He was stressing at the moment. The villagers were at him. The council members were at him. No matter what he did though, he couldn't find a solution for the problem that they were currently having. Calm down? Calm down, said Minato, his tone almost seeming jovial. As the man picked up a paper off the desk and handed it to Jiraiya. 108, he said. 108. But not only that, I have families, a lot of them grieving, pleading, begging me to find the murderer, and yet still I have nothing. Jiraiya took the paper as he looked over the names. The past 4 years for Konoha hadn't been good at all. Things were wrong with the village. One of the main facts was someone was slaughtering people. There has been 108 deaths, not including the Uchiha clan, civilians, even ninjas. Some of his chonins, Genins. One jonin was killed. One of his strong jonins, Aoba, a man that was working in the IT department, as he was a specialist when it comes to mind reading. Not the same powers like the Yamanaka, but he invaded the mind like a wanderer. Minato banged his fist on the table. As Jiraiya says, he sat down. I know this is hard, but you have to keep a level head. Getting all riled up about this isn't going to help at all. Minato took several deep breaths. He was always an epitome of calm. Even on the battlefield, he was calm. So his sensei was right, getting riled up here wouldn't do anything or do them any good. As he took several more deep breaths, calming his very soul down, he turned towards the window. There was nothing that he can do to stop this mass murderer. He was sure that this person was involved in slaughtering the Uchiha clan, but there was nothing he can do to find the person. There has been scouts, patrols, but still this person was able to wander by and slaughter civilians. People were afraid to leave their houses at night, some even too shaken up to leave their house that morning. Funerals after funerals of people that should be dying, young children, teenagers, found slaughtered and twisted in strange ways, and someone was verbally mocking him. There was always something left behind. Either it was a message in their blood, too slow, or the headbands of the tunings with an X carved in it. There has been many rumors going around Rumors saying that it was a demon that did it. Minato had checked over the cage once Naruto at school. He checked all the seals on the wall. He even brought every single clan head to his house to make sure they saw it for themselves so they could also back up his claim that the seal was fully safe. But if it was not the demon, the people were still wondering, who was it? Many lives had been lost. Many pointless deaths. Civilians that did nothing but good in their life, just slaughtered like that. It was getting to him. And the taunting words, too slow. You won't find me. I'm everywhere. There was always something left behind to show that the person was mocking him. And no matter what he did, no matter how hard he tried, he never was fast enough to catch a person. He took in several deep breaths. As many thoughts had been coming to his head in the past 4 years. What if it was his son? What if it was his daughter? What if it was Kushina? What if this person stepped their game up? Aoba was going home alone that day, coming home from the IT department. But Aoba was a trained Jonin. That meant whoever this was, they were powerful. But that was not the messed up part of it. There was no sign of struggle. That was the messed up part. There was no long drawn out battle. No run from the civilians. It was like they just stand up and died. There was markings, kunais, puncture in their chests. Some of them, their throat was slit. And from what he got from his group that studied the bodies, they said that the attack came from the dead. But that can't be possible. Why? Why all of a sudden 100 people, 108 decide to do suicide? That made absolutely no sense. As Minato finally calmed himself, whoever this is, they will make a mistake, said Jiraiya, and we will find them no matter what. You just focus on keeping everyone calm in the village. In these times of desperation, the people need hope. They need something they can cling on to. Something to give them hope, telling them that yes, there is a way out of it. You need to be that inspiration, Minato. You can't let your mind be clogged by this. Focus on the present and stop focusing on the past. We need to find this person. I know, Sensei, said Minato, as he looked around the room. Sorry about that, he said. As he looked towards a broken safe bottle, he was about to pour some drink for the both of them to talk. But he got two more reports. Two more were found dead, and he just lost it. This time, there was a smiley face that was drawn on the wall out of the person's blood. Minato just didn't know what to make of it. His on patrol was on duty, but yet still they didn't see anything. That was the weird part. He sighed. Jerry decided to change the topic on a different subject. So how has everything been going, he asked, as he looked towards Minato. It's a couple more days until the Genin exams. Have you already sorted out what team Mito and Menma will be on? At least that made him smile. His children were developing fast. He was so proud of them. Mito, she was the smartest kunoichi in the class, rival only in knowledge by Sakura Haruno. Menma was number 1. That gave the man a lot of pride. So much pride indeed, it just made him feel happy. His son was number 1, top dog of the class, as his scores were remarkable, surpassing even some of the greats. At that, Minato lowered his head. Itachi Uchiha was a remarkable student that even surpassed him when it comes towards the academic grades. But Menma was able to surpass the both of them. Yes, the boy would have graduated a long time before his 12th birthday, but he chose to stay behind. Minato had gone through the full 5 years of the academy, and Menma wanted him as well. So that is why he decided to stay behind. He was going to do the same thing that his father did, and become as great as his father. With the determination that he had, there is no doubt. As for Mito, her strength was increasing rapidly day by day. Her Uzumaki temper was getting a lot like Kushina, rather fiery. But she was still a sweet little girl. When it came to combat, she was only behind Hinata Hyuga, as Hinata was quite the prodigy. The girl was stern, like most of her clan is. Her father lessons had stuck with her a lot. And she was powerful, ruthless like any other Hyuga. And she was also his future daughter-in-law. As Menma and her were going out. After his 10th birthday, he had finally confessed his feelings to her. Minato didn't know if she was just, well, like most Hyugas when they were just turned, but the girl didn't show much reaction. All of them were at the party. Menma decided to go for something explosive. He got up on stage and sang. He sang to the girl. He had took her hand after the party, left everyone shocked. When they came back, he said that they were going out. It seemed strange, but she seemed to like him, so he shrugged it off as nothing. But a part of his mind wondered if she was doing this because of his status. After all, being the son of the Hokage came with great influential background. But she was just a young girl, so she wouldn't think of something like this. But on the other hand, Hayashi, the Hyuga clan heads, he was snapped from his thoughts when Jiraiya asked, "What about him?" Minato sighed. "At the moment, I don't even know," said Minato. Of course, he knew who Jiraiya was talking about, his other son, Naruto. "The boy has been stubborn. I tried to talk to him, said Minato. "You did? When?" "Recently. The teachers has been complaining. All the reports that were given, he doesn't do even one. He doesn't do school work. He ignored them when they speak to him. When it came for a time for practicing, he simply doesn't do anything. When his name is called, he simply ignore them. And it's not like they were gonna go towards him and pick him up off the ground. And you know why?" "Yeah," said Jiraiya. "So the boy just basically does nothing. He's a dead last of the academy. He is not as strong as the others because he doesn't take his time to receive training. He doesn't listen to the teachers. He doesn't participate in kunai or shuriken throwing. You know what I'm gonna have to do, seeing that he's dead last. But the team will suffer with him on it," said Jiraiya. "Yeah, but it's something that has to happen. What about the Uchiha? He has been coming along nicely. He's second to Menma in the class, in both skill and knowledge. He has been filled with this drive ever since you know what happened. He wants to find the murderer himself. I can't even blame the boy. Having so much taken away from you, it's gotta be hard. What about Kushina? Has she coped with it all yet? It's been a couple of years. Her mind has settled down, but seeing Sasuke, sometimes it hurt when she remembered Mikoto. But she has taken the boy in and treated him like one of her own. Like a son. That was what Mikoto would have wanted. Yeah. The both of you are good people to do that," said Jiraiya. As Minato simply nodded a smile. Time skip. In the undergrounds of Konoha, where the none other than the Yami of Shinobi, Danzo Shimura live. Well, not live, but where his operation was carried out. Danzo was getting a bit worried. That was strange for a man like him. Danzo was calculating. He was quick, he was swift, he did things that would startle most shinobis. He always had a backup plan. And he always had a backup plan for that. And a backup plan for that. And just in case that plan failed, he had a backup plan for that. But now he didn't know what to make of the enigma that is Naruto. He didn't even know what to call the boy by his last name. If he should call him Namikaze or Uzumaki. When he asked the boy what he wanted to be called, he said that Naruto is fine. He seemed to have completely disowned the last name. He didn't know how Naruto was doing it without being caught at all, but Naruto had slaughtered 108 people. Danzo was sure that it was him, given the fact that he was the one that slaughtered the Uchiha clan. Well, Danzo did not know the exact detail of what Naruto did. All Naruto told him was that he was able to break his body down into smoke and then use it, but still, why wouldn't the Anbu saw that suspicious smoke? And Naruto wasn't fit on elaborating. He took Danzo's words at heart, as Shinobi should never tell all that he had. Danzo need to find a way to reel him in even more, because he believed that this boy is growing too powerful, and is training. Yes, he has given the boy training in basic fighting style when it comes to root. swift and deadly attacks. But the boy was doing something that surprised him. He listened to every single thing that Danzo said. Because Naruto was dead last of the class, he did not show what he was made of. Being a powerful shinobi or kunoichi did not really intend to show off, but to keep in the shadows, and that is exactly what he's doing. But the problem that Danzo had right now was, the boy refused to come with his operatives, saying that he was busy and he was doing something. He hasn't seen the boy in 2 months now, despite wanting to talk to him. It's not like he can just go up to the Hokage and say, I want to talk to your son. And he can't just show himself in public like that to meet with the boy. That is why it's been a hard couple of months, as he had no idea what the Enigma was thinking about at the moment. He was the one that was offering some of his young, root agents that he got from the orphanage to the boy to slaughter. Yes, that might sound weird, but the boy bloodlust was just something so dangerous. Danzo was afraid that he might lash out and do something that would get him locked up and would mess with his plans. So he had to sacrifice poor little children. Well, they were not going to be nothing but his slaves in the end. But still, he had to give them to the boy to slaughter them. No matter how hard they try, despite their weeks or two of root training, they stood no chance. The boy was becoming more and more powerful by the day, and Danzo was fearing that he had created a monster that he can't control. But he will have to control him to make sure that he stays in line. He waved his hand as a root agent dropped down beside him. Find Naruto and keep an eye on him. Make sure he does not see you. The root agent nodded and vanished away. It's only a matter of time before he snap and do something too dangerous that none of them can come back from. And Danzo need him at the moment, he really do. Time skip. Today was the last day of class before the Genin exam. Yes, the last day of class. Before they graduate out of the academy to become Genins. Shinobis of Konoha to go on dangerous missions. Sasuke Uchiha currently made his way on the field. As he got into the ring with Mizuki Sensei, Mizuki gave the boy a smile as Sasuke looked up towards the man, a stern look on his face. The past years hasn't been nice to Sasuke. Well, not because of his living arrangements are comfortable. He has been comfortable, Kushina. His mother friend had tried her best to make him feel comfortable, even though Hokage was incredibly nice to him. But it hurt to know that you were the last person of your clan remaining. He had no one, no real family. This person did not share his blood. Mito had been really kind to him lately, extremely kind. She doesn't scare him anymore like when he was younger, as she had become a friend. Menma hasn't, well, been kind to him. Menma used the opportunity to make Sasuke get stronger. Sasuke appreciated it because Menma has been going hard on him to make him realize that he needs to get stronger to revenge his clan, to find this person, as Menma promised that he will help him. But no matter what he did, he was just not at the boy's level. He can say that out, despite feeling bad about it. Menma was the strongest between the two of them, and he just did not stack up at the moment. He was the second best in the class after all. The girls in the class cheered as they saw him make his way, as he was the last person to fight today. Well, not last, but it's not like that other one would say or do anything. He would just ignore everyone. Many of them really hated him. Their parents told him to stay away from him. He was a monster after all. He was a demon, so they all stay away from him. Sasuke and Mizuki both fought. Nothing too dangerous, just a quick match to test his skills from the start of the academy till now. Mizuki smiled as Sasuke actually bruised his cheek. Well, Sasuke, you have surely improved. I have no doubt in my heart that you will make a wonderful shinobi. As Sasuke nodded, Iruka looked over the clipboard. Everyone has gone, as Menma had showed the most improvements. The boy was just like his father, improving at a rapid rate. And for the girls, Hinata Hyuga, the girl was coming along rapidly, as he would have wanted to see how Menma tested up against Hinata. The both of them were surely a tough opponent to face against each other, and it would be quite an interesting match. But it was just not sanctioned, given the fact that the both of them were currently seeing each other. Two heirs of two powerful clans and the cutest couple Despite many of the girls being angry that Hinata managed to snatch him up. But Hinata didn't seem to care one bit. The girl was always like that, just like her father. As Aruka sighed, as he looked towards Mizuki, Mizuki nodded. Just do it. Naruto Namikaze, you're next. As he turned his head towards the boy, everyone did. Like usual, he was just leaning up against a tree, not paying attention. To their utter surprise, though, he got to his feet. Many of the children gasped. As he usually did not do anything. He waited until the class was over, then he just went away, so you can see why this is a surprise. Is this a joke? Said Menma rather loudly, so everyone could hear him. Why bother waste time, Aruka-sensei? He's just gonna lose anyway, said Menma. Yeah, let's just get this over with, said Mito, as she was carrying along with her brother. Over the past year, she has changed as well. Much in her attitude. Like Minato said, her attitude was similar to her mother's, quite fiery. And she realized she had to choose one brother. And she chose Menma because she did not know anything about Naruto. And they never really talked before, so it's not like she would choose him. And Menma hated him for some reason, she didn't know why. So she just followed and decided to hate him as well. He has to do it, Menma-kun, said Hinata. Although, he will just be wasting everyone's time. He has to. But it will be rather entertaining, said Hinata. Entertaining? Why, said Menma. Well, it will be a good laugh. Hinata said, yeah, it's not like he's gonna do anything. He's probably the weakest one here. After all, he's the dead last of the class, said Kiba. Yeah, pathetic, Menma said. As Naruto stepped forward. For a kid, he didn't look like a kid at all. Long black hair that hasn't been cut, going down into his back. Despite it should be looking wild and out of shape, it just looked firm, sleeking into his back. He had on black gloves, black shirt, and black pants. All black. Kushina had no idea where he got his things. After all, she didn't bought any of these things for him when she saw him wearing them. But they never asked him, they never questioned him, because he didn't talk to them, and they didn't talk to him. They just decided to keep their space. When they did talk to him every now and then, it was only a question that needed a yes or no answer, and that is what he did. But the scary thing about it was his height. He was taller than everyone of the academy students, and his muscles were quite ripped for a kid. That is why it was strange that he was a dead last. Alright, said Mizuki. Let's see what you're made of, he said. This is the first time we will be fighting. Do you know the rules, he asked, looking at Naruto. The red eyes snapped towards Mizuki. Can you shut your goddamn yap and let's get this over with, said Naruto. Naruto, Aruka said. It's quite fine, Aruka, said Mizuki, as the man laughed in his mind despite a smile on his face. He's been waiting for the perfect opportunity to get a hit on this demon brat, as this was a perfect chance to hurt him. He was glad that the boy actually stepped up. The smile on his face was bright. You should watch your tone, said Aruka. Yeah, said Naruto. Or perhaps you should just shut your goddamn mouth. Aruka eyed twitch. It's alright, Aruka, just let him be. He wasn't raised right. Of course he was not. He's just a brute, Menma said. Enough, Menma, said Aruka. What? Sensei, you're just wasting our time out here with him. He's not gonna win anyway. Naruto-kun, said a voice, so sweet and filled with mirth, as it always brought joy to him. Naruto-kun, another voice said. The two voices that he came to love. Perhaps it's time that you, well, stop playing around. It's about time that you exit the academy. So perhaps it's time that you leave them speechless, said Jashin. Yes, and start with that sensei. You can feel it, can't you? Yes, said Naruto, as he can feel the malice that the man was letting off. Jashin techniques, or the Kyuubi techniques, didn't really have names, but Naruto had created names for all of them, as he called the techniques that he got from Jashin Darkness Release, and there was a lot of them that he named, judging from the way they use and how they were set up. Naruto had given them ranks. from E rank to S rank. And there was a lot of them. But that wasn't important at the moment. It's time I stop holding back, said Naruto, and actually show off my skills. Yes. This will be the perfect time, Naruto-kun. Seeing that you're leaving the academy, why don't you leave them with a bang? Naruto flexed his arms. Black veins spiked up in his arms, not that anyone could see, because of his black, long-sleeve shirt. He took off his jacket as he folded it neatly and placed it down to the side. As he stepped inside the ring, the black veins run into his skin as they ran all over his chest. They ran into his face. Iruka noticed them as they seemed to run straight into his eyes. His red, demonic eyes that seemed to stare into your soul. As he smiled, "So what do you say we begin?" he asked, looking at Mizuki. "I thought you would never say," said Mizuki. "Iruka? Alright then. I want a clean match. Do you hear me?" Iruka said as he looked towards Naruto. Naruto simply ignored him. That ticked Iruka off. Pathetic, said Minma, as he didn't know why they were wasting their time with this idiot. He's never fought before, no one has ever trained him. It's not like he can do anything. Alright? Begin! Mizuki shot forward. Speed. That was not meant for a Genin, as Iruka noticed. His fist caught back. Bam! Everyone focused intensely when they saw the fist smash into Naruto's face. As it had a force, the wind even blew back, blowing his hair a bit. "Mizuki," Iruka said, "I thought he was at least gonna dodge. I never thought he would just stand right there." Mizuki chuckled in his mind. Of course you would need to dodge something like that. As Naruto reached up and touched his lip, a small trickle of blood came out. As he licked the blood off his finger. "Ew!" Many of the girls in the class said. Why did he do that? He's a monster. Can you blame him?" As Mizuki looked at Naruto confused. How is he still standing there? "Was that it?" said Naruto, as he cracked his neck. "Well then, I guess you're right, Kyubi-chan," he said. His voice was low so they couldn't hear him. "Jashin-chan, it's time I show them that you're nothing but worms." "Yes, Naruto-kun. Show them what your training has prospered. Show them what you are." As Naruto moved, it was a light jog before turning to a run. Mizuki smirked. No style of fighting, just wild, barbaric move. The man was shocked when Naruto slipped under his punch. The speed startled him. But Mizuki was a chunin and this was nothing but a brat, so he leaped. Only for Naruto had to stretch and grab his pants. Mizuki cried out in pain when something jabbed deep into his thigh. He looked on the boy's arm. The boy was tearing his fingernails into his thigh. He brought his backhand down, infused with chakra. "Mizuki, what are you doing?" said Iruka. As he saw, he felt the amount of chakra as it was becoming a bit visible. The backhand was about to slap Naruto so hard it might even cause him a concussion or worse. But Naruto simply twisted around Mizuki, dragging his claw hand through his thigh. A cry of pain could be heard from Mizuki as he dropped to the ground, holding on to his bleeding thigh. "Hey, what the hell's going on?" said Kiba. "How is he?" Blam! Mizuki never expected the speed, so when the feet crashed into his skull, his body rocked. As Naruto flipped over and grabbed his arm, as he twisted, a cry of pain burst out of Mizuki's throat. As Naruto dragged the arm back, snap! Bone breaking could be heard. Iruka rushed forward as Naruto picked Mizuki up by his broken arm, showing incredible strength. He swung the man. Swing the grown man, the young boy, as he tossed him. He slammed right into Iruka. Iruka was able to stable him though. Iruka looked down to his friend. "Mizuki, are you..." Iruka looked back up. as a feet planted in Mizuki's face, breaking his nose. 3 of his teeth fell out of his mouth. Both Mizuki and Haruka were knocked back, dropping down to the ground as blood was dripping off Naruto's fingers. As he started to walk forward, 2 blurs then came in front of him. They weren't that fast. As he could see them quite clearly, they thought they were moving fast. It was none other than Menma and Hinata. "We won't let you hurt our senseis," the both of them said. "Naruto, he's out of the circle, the match is over," Haruka said, picking himself up. "You knew that, yet you still attacked." But Naruto wasn't focused on the man. As Naruto's eyes were looking at Menma, Menma looked back without fear, despite he felt the hair on the back of his neck standing up. As Hinata narrowed her eyes, as she could feel it coming off Menma, a small wave of fear. As Naruto's hand flexed, Hinata got herself ready as she saw his fingers cracking, black veins running down into them. "Naruto-kun, don't," said the Kyuubi. "Yeah, she's probably right," said Jashin. "This would just cause an incident and put so much suspicion on you. Don't kill him yet. Although him and his bitch deserve it. You will have time to do that in the future." As Naruto's hands returned back to normal, the black veins vanishing, a smile came to his face and he tilted his head to the right. "Oh, sorry about that. I didn't notice that we were out of the circle. But isn't he a sensei? Shouldn't he be able to handle himself without letting 2 worthless kids trying to protect him?" "Who the hell are you calling worthless?" said Menma, as he looked towards Hinata before walking forward. He stood 5 feet away from Naruto before he took another step. "Who the hell are you calling worthless?" he said once again. Naruto blinked before rearing his head back and smashed it into Menma's skull. Menma stood back, dazzled, as his head was spinning. Hinata moved forward, her palm extended to hit Naruto. Naruto stepped past her attack, shocking her. Bam! She was thrown like a rag doll as he black-handed her to the side. She crashed on the ground. As Naruto stepped towards her, suddenly a kunai was placed at his throat. "Don't you move," said Haruka, as the kunai held onto his skin firmly. Naruto stepped forward same way, as the kunai tear into his throat, just a bit as the blood started to run down. Haruka had to pull his arm back. "So, don't want to kill me, huh? You know something? If you can't kill me, then how exactly are you gonna stop me?" said Naruto. As Haruka narrowed his eyes, "This incident will be brought to the Hokage immediately. Do you really want to test me, boy?" he said. As Mizuki was barely pulling himself up, Menma came rushing in, pissed off at what just happened. His fist bare, only to be stopped by Mito. "What are you doing? Let me go," he said, as his pride was just shook up. A few feet away from him was Sasuke, ready to help his friend. As Hinata picked herself up slowly, Menma rushed over to her, pulling himself out of Mito's grip. "Are you okay?" "Yeah," she said as she pushed away his arm. "I'm fine." As she narrowed her eyes towards Naruto. "Can you move?" said Naruto as he looked at Haruka. "You are not getting off scot-free." "Are you really gonna touch me?" said Naruto, "and bring me to the office? Or are you just talking?" He sighed and stepped around Haruka as he simply walked away. "Hey, what's going on? Is he just gonna get away with that, say Kiba?" "No, he won't." Menma clenched his fist tight. "Of course he won't. He'll pay." As Naruto walked, he started to hyperventilate. "Naruto-kun, calm down," said the Kyuubi. "It's over." "She's right," said Jashin. "Calm down. As much as I like a slaughter more than everyone else, this will ruin our plan." As Naruto started to hyperventilate as he walked, his eyes becoming so narrowed and fine, bloodlust was oozing from him. A large tree in the center. As he walked, he rested his hand on it. The leaf started to wither. They started to turn dry up. The root started to tear from the ground. It started to turn shrivel up. The tree itself started to quell and rot, like the life force was being sucked out of it. When he moved, there was nothing left but spikes. There were once a beautiful, luscious tree, nothing but root and spike. As Naruto took several deep breaths, that was a problem that has been happening lately. Getting him worked up was hard to calm him down. And they are constant, mind taunting. Ever since he was younger, when Jashin had invaded his body, changing it in certain areas, it has messed with his entire overall sanity. At the moment, he was not sane, yes. He was not sane because no sane person would slaughter so many people and laugh while doing it. He was a psychopath, and it was hard to calm him down. As Naruto appeared in his mindscape, as Jashin draped her arms over his shoulder, her hand roaming over his chest. "Calm down," she whispered in his ear. A tail then tickled his nose that made him laugh a bit. As the Kyuubi came over, "It's alright," she said, as she placed 2 hands on his face. "Just calm down." He took several deep breaths. As he relented, "Alright, I'm okay now," said Naruto. As Jashin still held on to him. "You did wonderful. Finally showing them that they're nothing compared to you. They should know how far, far below you they are. But it's just not the time. We can't have you going out of control yet. The plan will be perfect, you remember?" "Yes, the plan," said Naruto. "Yes, because just killing them wouldn't suffice. I mean, what would be the purpose of taking away their life? That wouldn't do anything. They will die, yes, but it wouldn't do anything good." "So what are you gonna do, Naruto-kun?" said the Kyuubi. "I'm gonna make them wish they were dead." "Yes. You're gonna make sure that you cause them so much pain that they literally want to tear their own throats open," said Jashin. "And then and only then can you torture them into a painful death." As she licked her lips, her tongue extended out of her mouth rather long, even past the snake's awning, as she licked her lip happily. "The thought of this is getting me all hot and bothered," she said, her smile widening. Time skip. Menma was right. As Naruto was currently in his cell, like usual, when to his surprise someone came in front of it. He did not look up, choosing to simply ignore the person. He wouldn't talk to them unless they said something. "Naruto." The stern voice of Minato could be heard. As Naruto still did not look up. "Naruto," he said. As Naruto slowly lifted his head. "Yes." He stopped referring to his man as his father a long time ago, just answering his questions without anything really. As Minato went through hand sign, the seal on the lock on the cage suddenly glowed. Before it opened, it had a timer on it. Once Naruto came home and was placed inside, once he went inside, it will lock automatically, and it wouldn't be opened until the next morning for school. He had no time to do what he wants. Only on some weekends he get to stretch his legs. Other than that, or if he was at school, there was no free time for him. The moment he came home and went inside, it locked automatically. But Minato released it. "Come with me," he said. As Naruto made his way downstairs. "What do you think this is?" he asked. "I don't know." "But get ready for anything," said the Kyuubi. "He wouldn't dare try anything," said Jashin. "He's not that bold. A spineless man he is. Don't worry, Naruto-kun." As Naruto made his way downstairs to see Menma, Sasuke, who was living here now, he has been for the last couple of years, and Mito, and his bitch of a mother. As he looked towards all of them, his red eyes just roamed around the room. One glance was enough as he kept on looking around. Menma clenched his fists that he wasn't even paying attention. As Naruto saw his chair, he made his way and sit down. Menma blinked. "Get up," he said. As Naruto ignored him. "That is not your chair," said Mito, It's father's. No, get up, she said. As Naruto ignored her as well. It's alright, Minato said. No, father. You're being too kind with it, said Minma. He's here because of what he did. He shouldn't be getting any special treatment. Calm down, Minma-kun, said Kushina. Naruto, she said. She barely talked to him. As Naruto did not look at her. Naruto, she said. Are you talking to me? Naruto asked. Yes, of course. Isn't that your name? She said. You rarely use it, so it sounds strange, said Naruto. What is it? He asked. Why did you attack Mainma and Hinata today? They provoked me, said Naruto. Sasuke, is that true? Kushina knew that he would tell her the truth. As much as she didn't like to say it, Minma would agree with Mito and Mito would agree with Minma. So she had to hear from an outside source, despite knowing they were friends with Sasuke. They did no such thing. Naruto picked himself up as he marched straight over to Sasuke. Minato hand tense as he looked at Naruto, but Naruto stopped inches away from Sasuke's face. Tell me, Uchiha. Isn't this provoking, said Naruto. If I come up in your face and say that you're worthless, and it's a waste of time to even do something, wouldn't you do this? As Naruto pulled his head back, Minato's hand appeared and blocked Naruto's head. Stop it, he said. Go sit back down. As Naruto turned his attention towards him, I don't feel like sitting anymore, he said. I'll stand. So what is this? I would like to get some sleep. We want to know why did you attack them, said Kushina, her tone becoming more stern. As I said, they provoked me. I was having a spar. How did you manage to break Mizuki's hand? And you were out of the ring from what I heard. Why did you keep on going? Do you know that it's a crime by attacking a fellow Leaf Shinobi for no reason? Especially when it's trained and you're told to stop. I didn't see the circle. But isn't he a Jonin? Or a Chunin? Have you not been running the drills correctly? I mean, aren't those guys supposed to be strong? I've never received proper training, so how? How did I manage to break his arm? Did he just underestimate me that much? Or perhaps something strange happened, said Naruto. Who knows? Minato couldn't understand how that happened. As Naruto said, it was right. The kid was never trained. So how was that even possible? But everyone clearly saw it. So can I go back to my cell now, said Naruto. It pained Kushina the way he said it. Like they had him as a prisoner. But she knew he was right. He was a prisoner in his own home. He didn't even eat with them. Naruto paused. And Menma, isn't he supposed to be the greatest student in the academy? I heard people talk. So why is he so easily defeated? Let me guess. You went crying to your dad because you lose. It seems like you don't like to lose. Do you, daddy's boy? Menma picked up the chair that was near him. Menma, said Kushina, as he threw it. Minato had to intervene as he caught the chair. As Menma's eyes were filled with rage. Seems I touched a sore spot, said Naruto. Naruto, you can go now, said Minato. As Naruto walked before he paused, Kushina turned her eyes towards him. As Naruto picked up the picture frame, there was Menma, Mito, Sasuke, Kushina, and Minato. I've been replaced, said Naruto. No, Kushina said. But Naruto was already gone. As Menma clenched his fist. Calm down, brother. Don't let him get to you, said Mito, as Kushina looked down. Despite everything that he said and everything that he did, he came from her, he was her son, and to hear him say something like that, I've been replaced, his tone sounding so hollow and empty. Because they knew that they were the one that outcast him like this, basically disowned him. It made her feel terrible. Menma, go to your room, said Minato. But dad, just do it. We'll talk about this later. Menma grumbled something as he walked off. Sasuke, you can leave now, said Kushina. You too, Mito. And that is exactly what they did. Kushina placed her head on the table. As Minato walked over and placed a hand on her back. It's alright. I'll sort this out, he said. She sighed. She turned towards her husband as he kissed her right on the lips. As he brought her into his warm embrace. She just stood there and let him hold on to her. I will sort all of this out, he said to her. Meanwhile, laughter was being heard in Naruto's mind. That was just splendid, Naruto-kun. I love how you played her heartstrings, especially in the end with that bitch. She deserved it even worse, said Jashin. As Naruto simply laughed to himself, as he lied down in his cell. He wondered what team would he go on, and how fun would it be to exit the village. The outside world must be fun. But guys, if you end subscribe right here, if you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off and I will see you guys soon. Peace.